Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have some very exciting DIY projects for you. 3 of them are going to be thrift flips, so I'll be transforming items that I got secondhand, and 1 of them I'm going to be building from scratch.
Is this the last time I can see you in a while? Is it the truth that you...
All of these DIYs are flower themed. I started finding all these DIYs that were related to like dried flowers, and I really wanted to make them all, and I'm like, well, that could just be one full video together. And then I found one more thing that technically isn't dried flowers, but it still suits the flower theme, so I wanted to throw it in this video too. Before we get started with the DIYs, I'm going to show you the 3 items that I'm going to be thrift flipping. If you've watched my garage sale haul, you've seen all of these already, but this is the 1-pound honey jar. It's just a glass jar or a glass bottle with a cork on top. And so I'm going to be making this into an herbarium. I should really look up how to say that.
Herbarium.
It's basically just like a jar that's gonna have oil in it, and then it's gonna be filled with dried flowers. So it's gonna be super pretty. It's gonna preserve those flowers for a really long time. And it's gonna be just like a cute little thing you can put on a shelf or style somewhere. It's gonna be a really simple DIY that I think anybody could do. And the next thrift flip is this small pillar candle. I'm still gonna run to the thrift store again today to hopefully find another one, but I'll update you if I find one or not. I have this pillar candle, and I have some other dried flowers that I'm going to use, and you can adhere them onto here using like a blow dryer and some parchment paper. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, it's going to be super simple and easy that I think a lot of people would be able to do. You don't need any fancy tools or anything. The next thing, okay, in my video where I was showing that I bought this, I had no idea what it was called. I didn't look up what it was called. I looked it up this morning, and I guess it's called like a cloche or a cloche. I thought it was cloche, and then I listened to the pronunciation. The British pronunciation was cloche, and the American pronunciation was cloche. But I think cloche just makes more sense. But anyway, so this is a cloche, this glass cover over top of this base, and you can just put something in as like a display piece. And so some of you might have seen in my powder room, I have another version of this, a smaller version. Let me go get it actually. Okay, so I have this one, and in comparison, you can tell it's quite a bit smaller. This one was made for me by one of my friends. So I'm gonna do something similar to this, except I might actually just use faux flowers. So I might go to Michael's and look through their faux florals and just see if I can find anything that would be cute in here. I am gonna be making it into a cute little floral bouquet display piece. So all of these ideas I got from my Pinterest. So I've been pinning a lot of ideas lately. And again, I just kind of started to notice a theme in the floral theme. So yeah, I figured I might as well just roll with it. So the last piece I'm gonna be building from scratch is actually inspired by this coffee table. They have multiple colors available, so I'm not sure exactly what color I want to paint it yet, but I'm just taking this as inspiration. I'm going to be making a version of this that's a plant stand, so it's going to be taller than the table that they have. I might make the tabletop the same dimensions that they have. I just need to come up with like a plan on how, like a plan of action, I guess. We can't have enough plant stands because we have to have all of our plants up high, because Cleo, our cat, just loves knocking things over, loves digging in the plants, and she's killed a few, but we learned our lesson. So without further ado, let's just go get started with our first DIY.
I started out by gathering my supplies, which included my glass bottle, the dried flowers, and then a stick to help move the flowers around once they're inside the jar. I started picking out some of the flowers and then made sure to trim the longer stems down so they could fit easily in the jar. Then it was time to start filling the bottle with the flowers. I started adding them piece by piece and used my stick to help me maneuver the pieces around, and then repeated that until I was happy with the finished result.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations, oh. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.
Once I was happy with the way that it looked, I filled the entire bottle up with baby oil.
I was never the one to give up the ghost. No, I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free.
For our pillar candle DIY, I did end up finding a second candle at the thrift store. I'm gonna start with my parchment paper and make sure to cut it the same size as the pillar candle, and then we can start working with our design. I do want to say that I had a bit of a learning curve with this first candle, so please bear with me for the small pillar candle, but the second one turns out really, really well. And I'll try my best to explain why I struggled more with this one and why the second one turned out much better after I kind of got the technique down. But I just kept playing around with the flowers until I was happy with the way that it looked. Then I wrapped the pillar candle with the parchment paper, and this is where I started to struggle a little bit, but we'll get to that. I'm going to be using a blow dryer to heat the wax up. This is when I was realizing that it was difficult to keep the wax paper in place and some of the flowers were shifting a little bit. I also realized that some of the flowers were sticking really well at this point, but other ones were not. I decided to tape the parchment paper, hoping that that would help me keep it all in place, which it helped a little, but you still do have to hold the tape down. At this point, some of those same flowers still were not sticking, while some of them were sticking really well, so I decided to just take off the ones that weren't sticking and try to patch them in with some other flowers. This time I made sure to really press my finger into the flowers as I heated up the wax, and then ended up starting to roll the candle against the cardboard. Then I set it aside for a few minutes to cool down. I really liked parts of this candle, but obviously me having to patch it in made it a little bit difficult to get every inch covered like I wanted. But luckily I have a second chance. So I'm just gonna do the same process as last time, cutting down the wax paper to size, then laying out my flowers, and then I will use my new techniques to do it right this time.
I'll let you go, just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never change your mind for something that matters to me. You do not know what I have in mind. I packed our bags, we'll be on our way. The night was long as I waited without a sign. As I know what matters to you. But what do you want? What's your biggest need? every hour we spend together, and suddenly the chances are small, just like the lottery.
Wow.
It's been 72 weeks in this town. I still believe I'll see you again. No matter what.
Okay, so you take this off, whatever that is.
Take that off and whatever that is.
So what you want to do with the clay is put it on your base. Oh, this is from IKEA. So I just have air dry clay. Okay, why am I struggling with this so much? Oh. Okay, I think I just need to pull it harder. Ugh, it sounds like a garden store.
Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna grab some clay. And you want enough that it's thick enough so your stems or whatever will stay sitting in here and they won't topple over. And this is probably where like the dried flowers would probably be a little bit easier because they just don't have as much weight to them. I just want it like across the entire base. And then you want to make sure that this can still sit on top of it without. So yeah, I should probably do that a little bit. Okay, let me just scrape some of this stuff off.
Okay, so now that that's decent, got all of my faux florals and greenery right here. And so my plan is to cut them apart basically and make them smaller. And I think on this one, I'm gonna take away all of the leaves, the leafy greens, because they don't quite match the greens of the rest of them. Honestly, I'm just gonna like snip all these off. Oh, this might have been good to have wire cutters. I always forget that these aren't just like plastic. Yeah. Okay. Just be careful when cutting because you might pinch yourself. Ow, what happened? Ow. Of course. I guess we'll just start with a couple. And I'm gonna keep these white ones on because I do like that, but I think I'll just chop the green off. Oh, that came off actually really easily. And I'm not sure how tall I'll keep all of these because I'm gonna vary the height of them all. And I want it to be pretty full. So maybe like, oh yeah, I probably won't even need more than a few of these. Okay, trim off one of those. And then this we might need to like twist in, so that's more like that. I don't know. And these are kind of heavy with the clay. And I was kind of worried with that, like, oh my gosh, are these even gonna stay for 3 days? Like, okay, they're really not. Maybe take like a smidge extra clay and just kind of like, probably gonna do absolutely nothing, but I think that kind of helps. But then this I kind of want to make shorter, yeah. And these you can actually just move up and down, so that's nice because I think I want to make these a little lower. And then once it gets a little fuller, maybe it'll be good. We'll see. Oh yeah, I like it already. And the tip that I was seeing online is always just kind of as you add a new floral or as you go a little bit, always double check that they're not too tall and they're not too full to fit with the lid down, with the cover. So yeah, that's cute. That alone is already cute. Okay, I guess I could put this, yeah, that's cute. That's really cute. Okay, these are kind of fun. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the extra greenery. So I'm gonna keep kind of taking this off and putting it back on. So unfortunately I might have to like glue some of these, or not glue, but redo some of them as I go. Oh shoot, like they're starting to tumble a little bit. I don't know how I'm gonna make sure that these all stay in place. Like maybe I needed thicker clay on the bottom, which is kind of what I thought, but Again, I can always add extra greenery on the bottom, so I'm just gonna make it, it's okay if it looks a little sloppy. Ah, fudge. Yeah, so I'm okay if it kind of looks like that, because I really do think I'm going to use some of this greenery or even some of the eucalyptus at the end. And then I know I wanted it to be pretty full down here. So this is as high as it's going to be. Okay, that's cute. That's really cute already. And again, now that this is gonna be kind of tricky though, because it's like every time I put it back on, they kind of get moved again. Oh, shoot. Okay. You need to stay right there. So let's give you a lot of extra clay to do so. Yep, I'm committing to it. It's fine. I think I'm gonna start using some of these greenery pieces just to sort of, some shorter ones for sure. So I'll start with maybe this one and just like, maybe just start cutting some of these pieces off. Oh, actually that literally just pulled right off. I didn't even need the scissors. So let's start with some of these guys.
Pay attention to sound, the one that's coming from your mouth. Don't mean to turn it upside down, I really wanna hear you out. I can't know how it is to be where you so calmly sit. When I'm further my own, there it is, catching only part of it. To just be, to really see something other than just me.
Oh. Ah, why did I take it all the way off? That was really stupid.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps.
Now onto the floral plant stand. I started by making a template using bowls as the petals, then I cut it all out. And then I traced the template onto my tabletop, which left me with this. I used my jigsaw to cut out the shape. After building this, I now have ideas of how I want to improve this in the future. And the one thing that I wanted to do this time, but I just didn't think my skills were there yet, is to actually use a router instead of the jigsaw, because this would allow for the cuts to be perfectly smooth and rounded. And shout out to my grandpa who gave me his old router table. So that's next on the list to learn how to use. And don't worry, we will be cleaning this up with sanding, and I am going to use a drill to round out these points. The sandpaper will smooth out these jagged edges and round out the sharpness. And I know it doesn't look that pretty yet, but sanding does wonders.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling, we could get out of.
I know it's still not perfect, but I'm really proud of the way it's turning out. Next, we're going to build the legs. I measured the legs at 38 inches and cut them out with both ends mitered at 5 degrees. And I repeated that process until I had 4 legs like this. Then I cut the support pieces at 7 inches, mitered both edges at 5 degrees, making sure this piece is shaped like a trapezoid. And I will need to make 2 of these. And they'll fit together something like this. And the two support pieces are going to be sliding and locking into each other, so I'm going to need to make a cutout on both pieces. So then you'd slide it. And then the two support pieces should slide in together like this. And then I'll use pocket screws to assemble the legs. I'll be assembling these with glue and screws. Then I trace the legs onto the table so I could attach them using wood glue and nails. Next is prep or paint, starting with filling all the nail holes. Then sanding it down once that's dry. Then I'll use Sherwin-Williams Extreme Bond Primer on the entire piece. And now finally, it's time to paint. I'm using the same pink paint that I have on the walls in my laundry room. I know the inspiration pictures painted some parts of it and then left some of it natural wood, but I personally just wanted it all to be one color. And I just wanted to say that I know this piece isn't perfect necessarily, but I'm really, really proud of myself for what I was able to pull off.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet.
Okay, so now let's get to the price breakdown of all of these DIYs. So the first one that I worked on was the herbarium. I spent $1 on the glass honey jar, and then I used about $2 worth of the baby oil. I used about $5 worth of the dried flowers. So in total, this only cost me $8. All right, and then the second DIY that we did was these two candles. So total for the candles, I spent $4, and then I only used $3 worth of the flowers. The next DIY that I worked on was the cloche. The cloche itself cost me $3, and then I used only about $10 worth of the faux florals. So I still have a lot left over. I could do another project with those. And then the clay, I only used about $1, probably less, but we're gonna total that up to about $13 for this DIY. And then finally, the biggest project of them all is my flower-shaped plant stand. I spent about $23 on wood, miscellaneous supplies that I used, like nails, screws, wood glue, whatever else I might have used. And paint. I calculated that at about $3. So in the end, it only cost me about $26 to make this plant stand. And I know that, like I said before, it's not perfect. I had a lot of ideas to make this like as perfect as possible, but I just know my skill set isn't there yet. And I was kind of comparing this in my mind to the bench that I built in the Olive Atelier video, because that bench, like that was the first time I ever built a bench like that. That bench, in my opinion, turned out as perfect as I could have possibly gotten it to be. It's super sturdy, it doesn't wiggle. So this one isn't quite as perfect. It's not as sturdy, it maybe has a little bit of a shimmy. It's on the carpet right now, so it's not perfect, but honestly, I'm like way more proud of myself for doing this than I was about building the Olive Atelier bench. Not because I don't feel as accomplished doing both of them, but with this one, I I've never done something like this. I had no really plans to follow. Like if you look up how to make a bench, like there's so many people who are posting plans online, like it's pretty easy to figure it out. But with this one, I was just looking at a picture and trying to build it based on the picture that I saw. And I'm pretty sure I did a decent job. I am so proud of myself, like, and I'm so happy. Like I thought I was ruining it when I was like drilling. I'm like, oh my God, I messed this whole thing up. I'm gonna have to scrap it. But I didn't have to. And these are the projects that really motivate you to want to get better. And I'm so excited to one day like make another version of this. Like this is just the prototype for now. I can't wait. Someday I'll make a new version of this and like my skills will be way more developed and it'll just be awesome. Like I'm just really happy with how they all turned out. So let me know down below which one is your favorite. And other than that, please just make sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos from me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Is this the last time I can see you in a while? Is it the truth that you'll be